Yep, that's right. Another wobbly ladder, just like the steeple, because that's where always the most fun places are. And that's where we're at, is the other pipe closet. So this is on, if you're sitting in the sanctuary, the right-hand side. And so now we're going to get to see what's on this side, which is a little harder to get to, and so I bet even a rarer place that anybody has ever seen.
What we're seeing right out here in this first section of the chamber is some of the largest pedal pipes. And if you look over here, see the longest pipes lying horizontally. The bottom pipe is roughly a foot square and about 18 feet long. It disappears back behind the enclosure over here. It's a little difficult to see the other end. The continuation of that stop is lying horizontally on this wall behind me, and the remainder of it on the front wall of the chamber. What you see right here is the bellows that controls the wind pressure for the pedal pipes. And on the wall of the enclosure, this is a portion of the digital relay system, and this is a portion that takes the digital signals that come from the console and decodes them and sends electrical signals to the various mechanisms that open the valves and allow the pipes to play. And we'll open the door into the enclosure.
So is it part of your genius to make sure there was lights in here too?
Yes. Although we didn't do it, they were done by an electrician, but we were quite specific about where we had to have light.
Ooh, fun. Another small ladder.
Well, inside this enclosure, which was built new for this installation, you can see around two sides are the wooden shades that control the volume. This side facing into the chancel and this side facing out into the church. And these are all the pipes that were stored in this chamber for 25 some odd years that came from Orchard Park Presbyterian Church. That organ was installed either in the late 30s or the early 40s by the Schlicker Organ Company, and it utilized pipework from a church that was no longer, I'm not sure if the church closed or if they replaced their original organ, but it used pipes from their organ that was built by the William Johnson Company in Westfield, Massachusetts in 1888. And the bulk of the pipes that you see here are from that organ and built by William Johnson. And here again, we've got quite an array of different sizes and shapes of pipes. The mechanism, the wind chests that contain the valve mechanism that permits air to flow into the pipes when you play a note, was all built by the Schlicker Organ Company when the instrument was installed in Orchard Park Presbyterian Church. In some places you will see lighter woods, for instance the rack that holds these pipes. These were replacing some that had been damaged or did not really have the structural integrity to do what they needed to do. In some cases, very new materials. For instance, the two sets of pipes that are right at Dobbin's feet over here were not original to the organ. Those were added to fill out the tonal architecture of the division. And these pipes that are directly behind me, the bottom bass pipes of the bassoon stop, which we made in our shop when we did the installation. We had mentioned that the two basic forms of organ pipes are flue pipes and reed pipes. Again, this is what you would normally recognize as a typical organ pipe. It's called a flue pipe because air passes into the toe of the pipe, passes through this narrow slit called a flue, and across the opening, which is referred to as the mouth. And when the pipe is voiced, the mouth is adjusted, parts of the mouth are adjusted to control the direction of the airflow so that it blows across the mouth in just the right way so that the wind sheet forms a slight vacuum inside the pipe which sucks the wind sheet in, which pressurizes it, which forces it out, and that sheet of wind oscillates back and forth over the upper part of the mouth, and that sets up pressure waves that travel up and down the pipe. And the longer a pipe, the lower the pitch. So these collars that you see on the top are actually for tuning. So if you move the collar up, the pitch goes down, and if you move the collar down to shorten the pipe, the pitch will rise. The other basic form of an organ pipe is a reed pipe. In the first installment of this little tour, we talked about the vox humana, or the human voice stop, and this is what those pipes look like. Inside the pipe there's actually a reed assembly, and if you look very carefully, I'll lift up that you can see the brass reed tongue, and that is mounted across the face of this tube. There's an opening in the tube. When air passes into the pipe, it blows between the tongue and this tube, which is called the shallot. It sets the reed into vibration, and the body of the pipe, or the resonator, depending on its shape, forms the basic vowel sound that the pipe creates. This wire, which lies across the reed tongue, is for tuning. And if you tap the wire down to shorten the length, the vibrating length of the reed, the pitch will go up. And if you pull the wire up to lengthen the vibrating section of the reed, the pitch will go down. So the three stops in the swell division, which is where we are, that contain reeds, are this, the vox humana. These pipes that are conical with little lids on top, that is the oboe. And all the way up in the front, it's a little difficult to see the shape of the pipes, but the very first set of metal pipes in the front is the trumpet stop, and that's the other set of reed pipes. One of the other interesting sets, which was not original to this, which we added to it, this actually came from the instrument that was in Seneca United Methodist Church when it was disposed of. This is called a harmonic flute, or a transverse flute, and you'll notice that there's a tiny hole in the middle of the pipe. And it's designed to imitate the sound of an orchestral flute. So if you cover the hole, that's the actual pitch of a pipe this long. By uncovering the hole, this pipe is speaking its first overtone, or first harmonic, which gives it the character that's typical of an orchestral flute. And of course there are wooden pipes as well. So this is what you probably have never had a chance to see, and I hope you found it interesting. If you ever have any questions about it, feel free to ask, but it is a fascinating piece of equipment. Hope you've enjoyed the tour.
I don't know how many more ladders I can find to climb, but we'll see what more I can do. So thanks for enjoying this, and I hope that you've learned a little bit about the instruments here at Christ Church, and look for me next, who knows where.